Hey, teacher friend, welcome back. You are watching Misfit to Teach, where I talk about all things teaching and how to stay mentally, physically, and emotionally fit to teach. If I don't already know you, please join our growing teacher community by hitting the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you and I can come together every week. Okay, so I want to talk about today's video. It's super short, like it goes very quick. But this is why I tell you all the time. As teachers, we have to check ourselves and we have to keep ourselves well because when we don't, we lose control and then you end up with stuff like this. Let's take a look. I swear to God! Get the down! Now! Get down! Get out now! I swear to God! So when I first saw that video, I had to question whether or not it was real. And then I did a little bit of research and also had to ask myself why on earth, like even for a joke, a teacher or any adult in a classroom with students would subject themselves to this or risk their careers by putting on a performance such as this. This is what happens, folks, when we get too emotionally involved with our work. Like, you can already tell, like, never minding his professionalism just flying out of the window, right? You can tell his heart is racing, his blood pressure is through the roof. He seems to have like a tenuous grip on his physical fitness at best. I'm not body shaming anybody. I'm just pointing out that maybe he's not in the best physical condition to be screaming and yelling and losing himself the way that he is. But the other thing that I pick up on with this video is that his students are also getting kind of nervous. Like, I'm noticing the one girl that's standing close to him, she's got a nervous smile on her face when he screams at the girl that's standing on the desk. The girl that's standing on the desk, she gets down sort of reluctantly. You could tell she wanted to do she just wanted to do her own thing. I guess she's one of those kids. Um, but even then, like, she's rolling her eyes like she needs to get off of there quickly because she can tell the adult in the room is the one that's unraveling. And then some others in the room, like, I'm hearing the snickers and the nervous laughter of kids who are like, oh my God, what is about to happen? What's happening with our teacher? And this is where my biggest piece of, or one of my biggest pieces of advice comes in for educators everywhere. It doesn't matter how much you love your career. It doesn't matter how much you feel called to make a difference with these kids. You might not like it when I say it, but you need to hear me when I say this. These are not your family. They are not your children. You cannot claim them as dependents on your taxes. You do not provide their meals and their school supplies or their room and board at home. You are not taking them to their doctor's appointments and going with them to see grandma at the family reunion. You are not a blood relative. You are not sleeping in the bed with parents at night when everybody goes to sleep. And since you are not doing all of those things and you're not related to this child, you do not need to be losing yourself in order to bring this child under control. At some point, as teachers, we need to be able to compartmentalize and also detach from our students. Boundaries. This teacher, I would argue, is frustrated not so much because he's completely lost control of his classroom and this one student in particular, but because he has allowed these students to cross his boundaries and therefore he's now crossing them himself. I can understand from like a parental standpoint or a safety standpoint. He wanted the student to get down off the desk because she could have hurt herself, obviously. But let me ask you this. What would have been the worst thing that would have happened had he stayed calm and she continued to stand on the desk? She could have fallen over and broken her ankle or knocked out her two front teeth. She could have done a silly TikTok dance and then she posted it and got 7 likes. She could have realized that what she was doing was completely stupid and just come off the desk herself. Any number of things could have happened in this scenario, but the one thing that should not have happened is him screaming at the top of his lungs and losing his religion for trying to get this girl off the top of the table. Having been in the classroom now for basically a decade at this point, what I would have done in this situation is number one, absolutely give clear, concise directives to tell the girl to get off the desk. When she did not get off the desk the first time, or she was approaching the desk to step on it, I would have walked into her personal space using her name. Keisha, you're not standing on that desk. I have told you, do not stand on that desk. Come down right now. If she continued to stand on the desk, that's where I emotionally detach. I'm not going to raise my voice at this child. I'm not going to throw a hissy fit. I'm not going to physically touch her to get her off of the desk. At that point, since I have lost control of my classroom and managing this child, it is now an administrative issue. That's where, as a teacher, you get on the phone and contact your administration or security, and you have to have the child removed from the classroom. The student is not listening to you at that point anyway, and they're also doing silly things as putting themselves and others in harm's way. There's obviously no lesson going on. Did anybody even see any lesson happening? Why are all the kids not at their desk learning something? And since we have basically have no idea what's happening in this classroom and it's devolved into insanity, we need to start escorting some people out. So you stay absolutely calm after you've given your clear directives 2 or 3 times and the child is defiant with you. Do not raise your voice. Instead, you detach from the situation and now it becomes an administrative issue. And you get administration and or security into your classroom as quickly as possible. I can guarantee you when that happens, the first thing that's going to be out of these kids' mouths is, "Oh my gosh, Miss Rodriguez, why did you do that? That was so unnecessary. You're an op. You're so fake for that." Literally, I've heard all of it. There are clever quips that you can exchange with your students if you want to respond some kind of way. But no matter how you choose to respond, the bottom line that you have to tell that student is, "I tried to tell you to come down. I don't know why you weren't listening. I told you I didn't want you standing on top of that desk. Why couldn't you just follow directions?" I'm clear and consistent. And as long as I'm clear and consistent, no matter how much they try to forego accountability, I'm always ever going to point the accountability back at them. Yeah, Keisha, I feel bad because had you just listened the first time, you wouldn't be on your way to in-school suspension right now. I'm sorry, honey. We try this again tomorrow. Do not stand on these desks anymore. You need to listen to Miss Rodriguez in the future. Goodbye. But as far as the teachers are concerned, take your B vitamins, do your morning stretches, go for a walk or a run, say your prayers, do your manifestations, whatever it is that you need to do so that you don't end up like this man. And I hope this helps. If you have experienced a crazy story or scenario such as this one, please share it with us in the comments below or send me the video. I've also included my email in my profile so y'all have a way to contact me outside of our videos. I hope this helps. I hope we start to see stuff like this happening less and less in our classrooms as some of them devolve into chaos, because him losing himself like this was completely unnecessary. Let me know how you would have resolved this situation. And once again, thanks so much for watching. Do all you can to stay fit to teach. Just don't do that. Be well.